Hello and welcome. My name is Regina Victor. My pronouns are they, them, pharaoh, and I am the artistic director here at Sideshow Theatre Company. Welcome to The Whisperer's Apprentice by Walt McGough, directed by Sidney Charles. Before we begin, I'd like to start with one of the land acknowledgements we have used during our time here. It was written by Lady Dane Figueroa and offered by our stage manager, estrellita Beatriz. We acknowledge that the land on which we are now is stolen land. That land, this land, and most land has been commodified, so it could be violently taken by neglectful colonizers from sovereign indigenous communities. We take a moment to acknowledge the Ohlone peoples, on whose land Zoom headquarters resides. Within our virtual space, we must acknowledge all indigenous peoples across the globe. Because of you, this gathering is possible. May we honor you and yours. Ashe. Now, let us say this. While land acknowledgements have become common practice, it is not the work. Acknowledging you have stolen something does not equal reparations. Let this be a call to action, to examine one's own role within the fabric of colonization, to commit oneself to being in right relationship with the land and the indigenous peoples of it, to ask oneself what your commitment is to giving the land back, to ensuring elderhood for these communities, and to commit to working to dismantle the oppressive forces that continue to harm the planet, our indigenous siblings, and us. Thank you. Now, as with all parties, this is a presentation that they had 12 hours total to rehearse and record before sharing it with you. We're going back to the days when we used to read plays in living rooms and black boxes and crack open beers and sodas after the show. Our live DJ Marta Jean will be spinning the ones and twos after the show as always, so get down with the get down. This house party will be live through the weekend, and then we will be starting the Sideshow Adventure Club, 3 sessions of serialized collaborative storytelling. That's right, we took some of the best actors we know and asked them to come make some dice rolling magic with us and play Dungeons and Dragons live. Tell your friends and then join us for an encore showing of Whisperer's Apprentice, October 15th. As for tonight, this play is all about magic, the roles it can play in our lives, and the unseen places it lives all around us. Therefore, our party theme is Ren Fair Cosplay Realness, which is why I'm dressed like somebody who lives in a talking tree. Pour up one of our signature drinks, the Whisperer's Brew or the Scald's Lemonade, and enjoy the show. But don't forget, you also have a part to play. If you like what you see here tonight, please donate to Sideshow Theatre so we can keep supporting and showcasing these brilliant artists. Thank you so much to everybody at home for joining us and for supporting us through this entire season. It has meant so much to us, and we can't wait to share with you what we've been thinking of next. Thanks for joining us, and now a word from our artists.
Hi, everybody. I am Walt McGough. I am the playwright for Whisperer's Apprentice. My pronouns are he, him, and I am joined today by
Sidney Charles, that's me, the director of this fine piece written by this astonishing human. My pronouns are she, her, hers, or anything with respect. Absolutely. Walt, I'm excited.
I'm so excited for people to see this play. This has been the nerdiest, most fun process.
Oh my God, it is definitely nerd o'clock, and everybody needs to, get their watches on. We're ready. We're ready.
Absolutely.
We're ready for y'all to see it.
Yeah. Thrilled for you to see this amazing cast, the backdrops, the costumes. We want character art. If people have it, send it to Sideshow. The DMs are open for all.
Slide in them. Slide in the DMs. We need all the nerd stuff. Give it to us. We feast from the nerd stuff.
Yeah, so it's what sustains us. And just have a good time.
Absolutely. Have a mystical, magical, imaginative time, and make sure that you stick around because we'll see you at intermission. We got some things to talk about. Get ready.
The Whisperer's Apprentice by Walt McGough. Setting, place, the deep forests of Pell, west of Trentfall, and 1 month's travel from the academy at Wickmore. Time, 25 years after the Scholars' Rebellion. Act 1. A cup of tea. Night. A small cabin in the forest.
Night struck hard in the center of the deep forest. 1 minute daylight lingered, catching gold among the branches, and the next the whole world trembled, braced, and then went dark.
Left in a day's wake was an old woman sitting alone.
She ruminated, quiet in her small cabin by the fire.
The crackling light of which shone up on her face, catching her wrinkles, showing her age.
But beneath it all lurked strength, as yet undimmed.
By all the years that chipped away at both her body and her bearing.
Still, it was clear that this was a frame hale of spirit.
But now was quite torn, no doubt about it, a withered husk of regret, broken upon the shores of ruination.
Tea.
She made some tea. She made some tea.
Tea! Of course she did. What was another night of her existence without tea?
Ferrin and Brand narrate the tea making and carry out each action as they say it. They are Rione's magic.
The woman moved her hand slightly, and the teapot lifted up all by itself.
A subtle gesture moved it full across the room, while on the shelf, canisters opened.
The woman's fingers were barely moving as she worked.
And landed in the pot upon the table. The leaves fell in.
Or placed themselves.
And with a final wave, the tea was warm.
Not by the fire.
But from within, inside itself, a kind of magic, which seemed like quite a waste of energy, really, given that there was fire not 5 feet from where she sat.
But still too far.
To stand and walk to, like normal people.
She kept her mind acute.
By wasting power on tea and laundry, food and her broom, a strength once so bottomless that it could rewrite whole kingdoms, now set fallow, wasting away night after night as she
Enough!
sat.
Just pour it. Much better.
The night moved on.
And on, without an end.
Warm in her home in the deep forest, all by herself.
Please open! Help!
The woman tensed.
Is someone there? We saw your light.
She braced, ready for anything that might come.
Nobody's here!
She shouted bravely.
My brother's hurt. We need your help. He's heavy.
A wave of the woman's hand and the door swung open on its own.
Ferrin opens the door. Kera stumbles through it, assisting Trammon, who is injured.
And in fell a surprise.
Thank you. We've been...
Quiet.
Rione gestures and Brand slams the door and locks it. Kera turns back at the sound. She can't see Brand or Ferrin.
Who are you?
That door.
The wind.
It locked.
A powerful wind. What's wrong with him?
He won't stop bleeding.
Where's the arrow? Where's the rest of the arrow?
It broke off while we were running. I tried to keep him awake, but...
Bandages.
Where?
Back there on the shelf. Get them.
The girl did as she was told.
And while her back was turned, the woman muttered words over the boy.
Her mind reached out.
Sensing for damage, cuts, danger.
Ferrin kneels next to Trammon and lays hands on him.
Her old ways landed on the issue and spoke mending.
And by the time the girl returned, the job was done.
Rione steps away and hands her the bloody point of an arrow.
A souvenir? Bandages, please.
The wound.
Has stopped bleeding. Lucky for us.
It looks so bad.
He will be fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now out with it. Who are you, girl?
We're mummers.
Really?
We're both performers for a troupe that travels from town to town.
And you got lost.
We did, yes. From the troop in the forest.
And that's where you met the bandits.
Bandits?
You were waylaid, surprised, attacked. Someone put an arrow in your brother, girl.
Bandits! Yes! They ambushed us. It all happened so fast.
Ferrin and Bran circle the siblings.
Silk clothes, fine. Elegant trim.
Soft hands on both with neat brown nails.
And rich, full hair.
Much healthier than most mummers.
Sing me a song.
What?
You're mummers, aren't you? Sing.
We don't, sing. That's not our act. We juggled.
Well then, juggle those jars.
They look, heavy.
Of course, how foolish of me. You're not accustomed to their weight.
No.
Generally just use pins or something light.
Yes, exactly.
Delicate calibration.
Quite.
Stop lying to me, girl.
A horn blew. Close.
They're coming.
Who?
The watch, they're out from Trentfall. Please, you have to hide us.
I don't know who you are.
A horse approached.
I'll tell you true, the whole story, I promise. But they'll kill us. Please.
One lone rider.
Please.
The cupboard, there.
She and Kera pick Trammon up awkwardly and hide him in the cupboard.
Wait, what about me?
Give me a moment.
The woman went to an old trunk.
Full of memories.
Wear it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
You're my servant, you cook and clean, and you're mute.
I'll get a broom. Is there a broom?
Mutes don't speak.
Sorry.
You're too clean. Here.
She throws some ashes from the fire into Kira's face.
Thank you.
Don't talk.
Open for the Warden of Trentfall?
Might the warden consider asking more kindly?
He might, but I just work for him. Open now.
Rione unbolts the door. Lund steps in and looks around.
Where's the youth?
The youth.
A boy, yay high. He must have come by here. There's no other dwelling around these parts.
A dwelling? How generous.
Have you seen him?
Nothing of note all night, sorry.
Who's she?
My serving girl.
You, here. Your name?
She doesn't speak.
Not ever?
Born silent. It's tragic, but she complains less than most maids.
She cleans your house. At night.
What better time? It's good to have company all the way out here.
You haven't seen the boy?
Not one yay high.
He may have had a girl traveling with him about her size.
How coincidental.
What did you say her name was?
I didn't.
Well?
Gabber.
Gabber the Mute?
Her parents were cruel.
The boy is dangerous. If you see him, make a racket. We're all patrolling the forest. We'll come running.
And the girl?
What about her?
If I see her, but not the boy, if they split up.
And you could save us all some trouble and kill her. But barring that, just keep her here. I'll come back in the morning and check in.
Unless you don't.
The man stopped still.
I'm sorry?
I just said, unless you don't.
The woman drew herself up. Oh.
It feels a waste of time, doesn't it? Coming back here.
Ferrin and Bran stand close to Lund.
It's my job, miss.
Of course it is. And you're quite good.
I am.
Very observant.
Ferrin lays her hand on Lund's shoulder. He doesn't feel it.
The man's eyes glazed ever so slightly.
Placing a hand on Lund's other shoulder.
He shook his head to clear it.
Look, I need to find this boy, and if he comes by, you'll be sorry.
What did you say your name was?
Lund.
Yes. A fine name, noble. I'm sure that one so distinguished as yourself should not waste time visiting old crones and their mute maids. You should just forget, don't you agree, that you saw us? Saw any dwellings whatsoever?
I suppose.
Nothing worth noticing out here. Just leaves and brambles.
I am quite busy.
Of course you are, Lund. You're going places.
I am. Or I'd like to. What was...
And you will, Lund. Such a powerful name.
It is, isn't it?
Now, time to go.
Yeah, I suppose.
The cupboard door opens and Trammon comes tumbling out.
Where am I?
Rione flings her hand up towards him. Ferrin moves swiftly across the room and lays an unseen hand over his mouth.
Hey, wait, hold on.
You tell that warden to make you Captain Lund. You deserve it.
I do. I'm gonna tell him.
And he'll listen. Goodbye, my good Captain.
I'll tell that codger just what he's got. No more brambles from me.
Kera runs to Trammon, who is struggling to stand.
And with that, the man was gone.
Already forgetting any sign of an old cabin.
Or its mistress.
And her mute servant.
I need my tea.
What did you do to him?
You're mute.
He's gone.
Nonetheless, a moment, please.
But what?
I merely appealed to his base sensibility. It was quite simple.
That was more, though. He saw Trammon.
Who are you, children? Why are you here?
We're mummers, like I said.
You're not. You lied. You lied quite poorly, which tells me that you don't do it often. I want to know the truth right now, or you can both.
You're her.
What?
It's true. We found you.
No.
Mistrin. The walls.
Quiet.
They fell in flame.
Oh, quiet! Speak plainly, boy. You'll say your name and nothing else, or I will place that arrow back where I found it.
My name is Trammon Westmeyer, son of Tower, Regent of Trentfall.
And where is he?
Murdered 3 nights ago. The keep has fallen. Kera and I fled with our lives to come find you.
I'm an old woman.
You are Rione of the Whisperers.
And?
You served my grandfather against Marteau. My father spoke of you often with awe.
Your father sounds boring.
He was a great man.
Do you agree? Speak up, you're not mute anymore.
Lord Westmeyer was very honorable.
Oh, that's awfully formal for a daughter.
I was his ward.
She was written into our family. I call her sister.
And what do you call yourself?
Kera?
We have need of you, Rione.
But I have none of you. I healed your wounds, put the guards off your scent, and now am telling you to leave. Good night, Westmeyers.
We are Tallar's children.
You are. She's not. Tallar is dead. They'll kill me too if I help you.
You have to, though.
Big talk from someone who just fell out of a cupboard.
I can make you. You have a debt, my father said, and I will speak.
You won't.
Brand and Ferrin push Kera and Trammon back.
The sound flexed out from the woman's fingers.
and seemed to pull the air from the boy's small lungs for just a moment.
Please, man. We'll die.
You can stay the night.
They'll still be looking.
The week, then, but that is all. 7 days from now. The watch thins out, you're on your way. Where you go then is up to you.
Thank you.
And you will clean, the both of you. You'll dust and cook and clean. I told that hulking lump of stupid he was a maid, and so it is.
You have my word. On House Westmire.
And you don't speak, either of you. You say what needs saying, nothing more. And absolutely no oaths, boy. Are we agreed? Complete silence. Beginning now. Are we agreed? That's better.
The woman sat back in her chair.
And took a breath.
She rolled her shoulders.
And felt the creaks. Too many years, too many tales.
Much better.
She took a breath and drank tea.
Which by this point was quite cold.
The Tinker. The next morning, Kera and Trammon are cleaning the cabin. Brand sits in a chair, watching them. Bored.
Morning in the deep forest found 2 children cleaning the floor. They went about their work like those accustomed to servants.
Trammon places a jar on the shelf.
That doesn't go there.
At least the girl paid some attention.
Are you sure?
Smell it.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know, but it goes over there.
I'll bet you I can eat one.
What?
10 flores. Bet.
You don't have 10 flores.
I will when we are back home. Maybe it's magic.
Nothing that smells that bad could be magic.
But that's just how I'd hide it if I were her.
It makes no sense.
The boy's first taste of Habroot was subpar.
Oh, it's even worse than it smells.
You're cleaning that.
Oh. I was trying to cheer you up.
There's people out there who want us dead.
But now we're here. We found her, Kera, and we're as good as home.
We don't know that.
She did magic last night. She healed me like it was nothing.
She won't help us.
She has to, though.
Why?
My father's binding tale. He taught it to me. He showed me how, and we can...
We're not even supposed to talk.
It will work. Trust me.
We should have just kept running. If we'd gone to the tumble, I could have found someone.
It'd be more dangerous there than if we went into the forest.
I know people there.
You haven't seen them for a decade. They turned us in as soon as you found them.
That's not true. My friend Rigger, he could get us somewhere safe. Rain support, maybe?
I can't run. I need to fix all of this. Avenge Father. Rione can help.
You almost died last night.
I was careless, but I won't be again. You got us out of Trentfall safely. It's my turn to do something.
In the cupboard, both of you, someone's coming.
It's too small for us both.
Then let me help.
Inside they went with difficulty.
Brand moves to the window.
The woman's attention split, and it felt its way outside to try to see the new intruder. Her mind was met with firm resistance. A hole, a void. She could see nothing.
This is either very, very bad or else...
Hello inside! I've come for scraps. Tin, brass, copper, and steel. All metals, great and small.
Ferrin finally gets the cupboard door closed.
The cupboard latched at last.
It's fine. Let them out.
And reopened.
She opens the cupboard and Kera and Trammon tumble out.
Is it the guard?
Silence. Come in, Arrosh.
Brand and Ferrin are subtly pushed to the periphery. They are unable to narrate Arrosh.
Our Lady of the Whispers. How good to see you.
Arrosh and Rione perform a short, synchronized, and well-practiced ritual greeting gesture.
Still tinkering.
We all need trades, old friend. Your house has grown.
Still small, but now more full. These are my guests.
Ooh, they smack of royalty. I am Arrosh, my tiny lieges.
I'm Gabber.
Real names.
I am Trammon Westmeyer, son of Tyler, Lord of Trenchfall.
And you?
Kera.
Succinct.
They are my maids.
Then please accept the pity of a poor tinker and a scald.
You're a scald.
Varys, truth. And even better, I am a scald with news.
About Trenchfall?
And beyond, little maid. But not for free.
What will you take?
Iron. Or brass. Can they pay?
Most likely not.
More's the pity.
Outside now, both of you.
If it's something about my father,
He's dead. What news could there be?
A gentler approach, perhaps, Rione. Your new friend Arrosh's cart is just outside. It has sweet rolls in it. Good food for maids who follow orders.
We're not children who you can coddle.
Adults like rolls too.
I have some old iron fillings. They still have charge.
Acceptable.
I have a right to hear anything you have to say.
Arrosh speaks only to those who pay. You already owe your sister 10 flores.
What?
Plus more hobroot for me to replace what you spat out. This house listens more than you might think. Go now and cross your fingers that you didn't swallow any. Hobroot's a purgative. They'll forget you as soon as they're outside.
But they'll remember rolls.
So clever.
There's truth. Tea?
I'll get the pot.
The walls of Mistrun. Outside Rione's house.
Outside the cabin, the children felt a strange sense of confusion.
Wait, why are we out here?
Rolls. There. Come, let me look.
I can't believe you're letting yourself be bribed.
We're stuck out here, aren't we? Might as well eat.
She finds a basket with rolls in it.
Here. Trammon?
What?
What's a scald?
Why?
You know?
They're a bedtime story. Were you reading Father's old books?
I wasn't allowed in the study without you.
Supposedly, scalds can't be whispered. They're not a part of the tale, so they're immune, kind of. It's magic. They don't exist.
Thought whisperers didn't either before last night.
That's different.
He goes to listen into the window.
Don't.
I want to see what you're doing.
Ferrin pushes him away from the window. He falls.
The sill proved slippery.
Just leave it, Trammon.
We're wasting time.
So let's leave then.
Father said to find her.
He said she'd keep you safe. Nothing about retaking Trentfall.
It's what he meant. It has to be. I'm still alive. The line continues. We're in the tale. This dagger was made with the first metal mined in Trentfall. The whole place could burn down, but if a single stone was left, Rione could rebuild it.
It's not even that sharp.
It's a symbol.
I just don't see how you think that you'll...
Then you can leave, then. Go find Rigger. I'm staying here.
So, if they're not part of the tale, would we forget them if we met one?
Who?
Skulls.
You're not making any sense, Kera.
Who brought these rolls?
Halt! In the warden's name.
A sudden appearance. Most unwelcome.
She approaches and tries to addle him.
The guard's eyes glazed, just as before.
Wait. I've been here before. You two, come here. Come here, I said.
The guard's will strengthened in the daylight, but still he...
You are a maid.
Yes, I am.
She said you were.
His mind grew hazy, and...
No. They all laughed at me. When I came back, I was confused. I wasn't sure, but you two, here.
Easy.
Drawing his
What did you do to my head?
Leave her alone.
You garbing twit, I'll slice you up.
You will not, Lund.
She waves her hand. Ferrin gains strength in her presence and wraps Lund's arms behind his back. Arrosh and Brand follow, but stay by the door, observing.
The soldier's arms were frozen.
This is the second time you've bothered me.
You addled my brain, you forest witch. I'll kill you all.
You won't. You can't.
Placing her hands over his eyes.
Became cloudy and blocked.
What did you do? Why can't I see?
Horrible visions filled his mind.
No, I...
Quiet, Lund. This is just a taste. Do you hear me? You will forget that you've been here. You will forget this place exists. You will stumble back to your fellows and tell them that the trees spoke. The demons spoke. You will beg them to lock you up, to protect you, to not make you come back. They will all laugh. You will let them, or you will die.
Yes. All right.
Where are you?
Nowhere.
What did you see?
Nothing. I swear.
What happened here?
The trees. They spoke?
What will you do?
I'll seek protection. Help me, please. Help!
His sword, Rione. It's good metal.
You will leave your sword. You were disarmed.
How?
A squirrel took it.
But
A large squirrel. Drop it. Now go.
the trees. They're talking. Birds. Ah!
It's almost a shame to melt it down.
He was stronger than I thought.
Fools often are.
Teach me to do that.
What?
I need to know. For Treadfall, my family's seat.
There is no seat.
Of course there is. My line continues. We are still here.
The empire's collapsing. Arrosh brings news. The Twilight King has fallen, and Trentfall wasn't the only backwater to go with him. Cities all over the map are in chaos, reeling.
But how?
Just rumors now. Crooked advisors and pitch black plots. Your father's own warden has claimed control of the city.
Samal wouldn't do that. He loved my family.
Samal is likely the one who killed him, and it's his men who hunt you now.
And there is more. He flies the banners of Marteau above the castle.
You each owe me iron for that news.
Marteau is gone, in exile.
It seems he's back.
I do apologize for such ill tidings.
It isn't true. That's not the tale, not what was promised.
You know nothing of the tale.
I need to fix it. You need to help. I know my family's bond, what you owe us. At the city of Mistran...
Stop.
No! At the city...
Stop right now.
At the city...
Quiet!
At the city of Mistran, the walls fell in flame.
Brand and Ferrin are thrown off of him, pushed by an unseen force.
A sudden power exploded out. What more lay in waiting?
I know the words. You can't stop me.
I won't be bound.
You're bound already, Rione. He tells it true, so let him speak.
Do it then. Speak, if you can.
The boy rolled back his shoulders and took a breath, then spoke the tale.
At the city of Mistran, the walls fell in flames. Earth heaved, ash flew. All were consumed, the walls burning. To the ruins of Mistran, the Lord Westmire came. Lord of the lands, he found ashes, found Mistran gone, its people lost. The walls broken.
Rione turns away, moving back inside.
In the ashes, a woman stood.
The door slams in Rione's face.
Unburnt, alone, the cause of it. Of ashes, death, fire. Men called her witch. Men bound her hands. To the court of Trentfall, the men brought her. Lord Westmire heard. She told her tale. Into his court, the Lord took her, forgiven, gracious, serving his house, saving the tale. On Mistran's ashes, the woman's debt.
Those aren't your words. You weren't even born when they were written.
Neither was my father, but he learned them, and then taught them to me. My grandfather spared your life.
And I won a war for him in return.
A whole city burned, murdered by your own hand. Mistran is still a pile of rocks. Nothing will grow. My house took mercy on you. And now we're just as desperate as you were. But we're not killers. My father told that tale with reverence, with awe. He thought so much of you.
Not enough to free me.
If Marteau has returned, the world needs my house. And I need you. With training and guidance, I could stop him again, just like before.
You never bring anything but bad luck with you.
And yet you always answer the door.
You'll take the girl.
Sorry, repeat?
She can't be here while he trains.
I'm staying with him.
You're not his blood. I owe you nothing. Arrosh will keep you safe.
For how long?
As long as it takes. She'll need a bedroll.
I have a cord of old briar wool.
Good enough.
This isn't fair. I can help Trammon tell them.
I'll be fine, Kera.
We don't know that.
Go, Kera. Please.
The young Westmire speaks, and we follow. But not to worry, we will stay close.
I won't fail you.
You will. Over and over.
Rione, would you like a roll? I would hate to see them go to waste.
Rione enters into the house and slams the door.
Well, more for us then.
A pair of lessons. Inside the cabin.
Morning rose, bright in the center of the deep forest.
The light brought with it bird song and the promise of a new day.
Also, more tea.
Trammon sits in front of a teapot, Rione sits in her chair, only half paying attention.
Nothing's happening.
I see that, yes.
You haven't even told me how to.
You warm the water, then add the leaves.
I know how to make tea. I've done it 1,000,000 times.
You actually made the tea yourself 1,000,000 times?
Sometimes I wanted some and the cook was asleep.
You truly contain multitudes.
I've never done it like you. I've never whispered it.
But you know its tale. What comes first?
Water.
You have that.
A kettle.
You have that too. What's missing?
Fire.
Close, but no. Fire does what?
It heats it. It makes it warm.
So you don't need fire, you need
Heat.
He can be taught.
I just heat it.
Yes, just.
How?
With warmth, I suspect. Try.
Trammon approaches the teapot. He holds his hands over it.
What are you doing?
I'm heating it.
With your hands.
Yes.
Have they made water boil in the past?
Well, I don't know what else to use.
Best figure it out, or else your breakfast will be delayed.
You're not teaching me anything. I need to learn to whisper, but
I'm not convinced you can whisper.
that story yesterday?
Someone else's words. You just use them. Whispering is crafting new tales completely.
To make some tea.
Among other things.
So should I talk to it? Can it hear me?
It's water. Something less concrete, maybe. Tell me a story about yourself.
Like what?
Like who you are.
I am Trammon Westmeyer.
What does that mean?
The Westmeyers are the oldest family in Trentfall. We built the city stone by stone of our rich blood and of our bones.
That's someone else's verse again, and that one rhymes. I asked who you are.
A Westmeyer.
Not in this place. Not at this time. Your house has fallen. You've run away. Marteau's flag flies above your city. So right this moment, you're just a boy inside a hut with no last name. You still exist?
Yes.
Then tell me why. What binds you here? What makes you whole? What do you own?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand, but
Your first fire, how about? When was it? You're trying to heat some water, so let's do that. Tell me the story of the first time you saw fire.
I can't remember.
Of course you can. How old?
I was a boy.
Still are. But please, continue.
I was younger, much younger. I think with father, probably. In his study. I'd sit there with him on his lap. He had a fire. He'd talk to me and tell me stories.
Ignore him. What did it feel like?
The chair?
The room, the heat, the fire. Tell it in present tense.
It is cozy. It must be winter because I'm in a wool tunic. It's scratchy. I'm trying to stay awake, but it's quite warm.
Hold that. Hold that warmth there. That's yours. That heat you feel that no one ever in the world has ever felt, keep it. Turn it around. Turn the whole scene inside your mind. Feel underneath. These are the threads there. Fabric. That memory is one thread in a quilt, a tapestry. That is the tale. That thread connected now to what was you. And if you take it in your mind, then you can pluck gently and find its seams and take the heat from that seam then and use it now. Don't speak. Not yet. But feel it. Hold it. The tail of heat.
The tail of heat.
Hold it. Feel it. Now speak.
The teapot. Boiled. The teapot. Boiled. The teapot. Boiled. Nothing happened.
Of course it didn't.
Why not?
Because you're not boiling the teapot.
Water?
The water, yes. But bring it here.
Ah, hot.
A new story begins. Go fetch the cups.
Light shift. A field nearby. Arrosh sits on the wagon. Kera enters, carrying wood.
And what is that?
Firewood
To what purpose?
to start a fire.
Not wise.
We'll need to cook.
Your friend Arrosh has only cold rations.
Trammon and I built fires while we traveled.
Which was not a smart thing with killers in pursuit.
Is there a tent? At least it will get cold.
Every convenience is ours,
Except fire.
except fire.
Kera goes to the wagon and finds a tent.
The young maid likes to stay busy. And quiet. And angry.
No, she doesn't. But right now, the young maid does not want to be here, so is looking for distraction.
Your brother will train for many days, and a tent can only be put up once.
So,
Best to ration your excitements.
fine. Fine. I'll just do nothing then.
The young maid sulks.
My name is Kera.
I don't make names a habit.
Why not?
No one is only their name, deep down. Except Arrosh. Arrosh is singular. And so you don't like cold or sitting still, or me either. What do you like?
Not being here.
I am no one's jailer. You may go where you wish.
And Trammon?
Rione can be a jailer when she wants.
I can't leave without him.
Of course you can. No one would stop you. The warden's men aren't even sure you're still alive.
They'll find him if I leave.
You're so certain?
He thinks he can do it all himself, but he needs help.
He's not your blood.
The Westmeyers took me in. Blood does not matter.
To a Westmeyer and his peers, blood matters most.
Well, Trammon's not only his name, deep down.
Varys. The maid learns fast. Still, Trammon may not have need of you soon.
Why not?
Whisperers have great power. They scramble minds. They rewrite words. If the boy comes into power, he'll not need tents or firewood or erstwhile maids. So, with that in mind, you'd best improve.
About what?
Arrosh produces 2 dueling sticks from the cart.
Protection.
Arrosh hands a stick to Kera and assumes a dueling stance. Lights shift. Rione's cabin. Days have passed. Trammon is standing in the center of the room, blindfolded. Ferrin and Brand move around the room, getting closer to him, then moving away. Every now and then, one of them reaches out and touches him while moving past.
3 days later, and not much hope.
Tell me about the chair.
It was red.
The boy tried.
Or purple.
And failed.
Which one?
And kept trying.
I don't remember.
And failing.
Take a guess.
But improving. Bit by bit.
Does it really make a difference?
Very small bits.
Not in the least.
Brand pinches Trammon on the arm.
Oh,
Unless it does.
purple. Then it was purple.
Ferrin brushes his earlobe. He spins for it.
How about the rug?
Dark blue.
Texture?
Brand pushes Trammon.
Stop it!
Trammon pulls off his blindfold.
Why? How are you doing that?
Magic, obviously.
It's distracting.
That's the whole point. You'd be able to counter it if you'd been paying attention, but instead you've been deciding on colors.
I can't remember.
All that matters is that you pick a color and hold it. It's your story, and you can do what you want with it, but commit. Hold the thread tight, or else you'll lose it.
And if I do, then I'll do magic?
Not with such a boring story, no.
You said that First Fire was a good one.
As a starting point, but not as... Everyone has a memory of fire. Everyone has sat on someone's lap and heard a story. It's too general and personal. It's beige.
It's purple, though.
Don't start getting clever, or we'll never finish.
I thought I heard footsteps. When I was blindfolded. That's why I took it off.
They make noise sometimes when they move.
What do?
My shades. The tale made whole. Once a whisperer grasps the thread, we can twist it into a knot. Sort of. Something specific to us. And us alone.
Something with feet?
They look like people. Not the real thing, just projections, but most whisperers have the same shade their whole life.
And you have two.
Don't worry about how many I have. You have none, so work harder.
Who will it look like?
You'll have to find out when you're able. Let's find a better story. The same room, if we can, since you've already spent so much time on the rug. Did anything else happen in there? Something important, memorable?
Well, yes.
Tell me.
No, I'd rather not.
Well, I'd rather eat lunch, but here we are.
I would like not to tell you.
What, did you flirt with a maid or something?
I just rather use something else.
The fact that you're avoiding it means it's important, and if it's important, then you can use it. So you'd better just come out and tell the story, or else...
Where they killed him. My father. And I found him. He was under his chair in the middle. It was a different chair by then. That one was blue.
Tell it to me.
Lights shift. The field. Arrosh and Kera are practicing stick fighting.
Arm up. Guard. Now. Good. Good. Better. But not quite there yet.
I almost had you.
Alas, still dead. Fetch the water.
I can't. I'm dead.
A smart mouth for a corpse. Go.
I'm getting better, aren't I?
You fight like you wear lead shoes and shackles.
I don't feel like it.
When did they take you?
Who?
The boy's family.
They didn't take me. wasn't stolen.
When did they embrace you then, tight in the bosom of their boundless hearts?
I was 8, maybe 9. I lived with my mother in the tumble until she passed. And then by myself for a few years.
And so a daughter, then an orphan, and then foundling. Defined by others, and so chained.
No.
You never feel it? Ever? You hide it well.
Are skalds immune to magic?
Who says?
Trammon. His father told him.
Was his father often correct?
Mostly.
But not always, or he would be alive.
You didn't answer my question.
Because it has no easy answer.
Then what's the hard one?
Skalds are not immune, only separate. We are not in the tail. It cannot see us.
The tail is everything.
Everything but me.
Is that why I can't remember you when you're not here?
Perceptive girl. Here we are. Come.
Kera goes to Arrosh, who opens the box to reveal a simple metal circlet.
What is it?
Mostly brass, some copper, but treated special.
It's warm.
Put it on. What do you feel?
Nothing.
Exactly. The tale is all around you, yes? The skein of the story on the world. That circlet locks it, quiets things down, and keeps you separate.
Should I feel different?
Of course. You are still you, but now.
They pick up one of the dueling sticks.
Let's see how well you fight without shackles.
They throw the stick to Kera. Lights shift. The cabin. Trammon is still doing the blindfold exercise, but it's faster now, like a drill. Ferrin and Brand are still trying to bother him, but he's able to avoid them. Mostly.
Again,
Kera woke me up. She snuck in and shook me. I smelled smoke.
where from?
The entry hall. I asked her why, but she shushed me. We went down and it was quiet. It's not usually. The guards talk.
Keep focused.
Walked by the study and it felt wrong.
How did you know?
My neck, the hairs, they stood up straight.
Good.
Kera kept walking, but I went inside and he was there.
Present tense. Keep going.
He is lying on the ground under the chair. One leg is on it.
Which leg?
His right. His arms are splayed and his hands are open, fingers spread out. There's no blood, but he's not moving.
His eyes
are open. His mouth is too. I walk up to him.
How does it smell?
What?
The room, his body. Feel it.
I can't.
Sense it.
I don't know.
You need to know.
My sense of smell is not good.
Then make it up. Put your mind there inside that room with his body. You're walking closer. You come up on it. His hands are reaching. His eyes are open. The chair is blue. The rug is soft. Put yourself there. How does it smell? What does it smell like? Capture the smell.
Like smoke.
Brand and Ferrin are both thrown backwards.
The whole place, smoke.
A strong effort.
But not enough.
Brand strides towards Trammon.
Hold.
What?
Hold.
Brand knocks Trammon, reeling. Then he stands over him proudly and looks back, smiling to Rione.
The boy had lessons left to learn.
I can't breathe.
You can. You just don't want to. In. Out. In.
I felt it. Yes. I felt something.
Rione is still looking at Brand. He's still looking back.
What did I feel?
Potential needs nurturing, Rione.
We're done for now. Go fetch some wood.
What? We can't stop.
We can. And we won't start again until I tell you.
That's not fair, though. I was close. I really felt it. Him.
Who?
Father. He was there. I think. For a moment. Was that a shade? Did I see one?
Don't be stupid.
You said it was people we knew. And you were right. I could see him. Just for a moment. It was a shade.
It was embarrassing, and you're making it worse.
What?
You were sloppy, careless in your telling. It left you open.
I was trying to picture the smell.
And you couldn't. The smoke was downstairs. You told me.
You weren't there.
Obviously.
I was. I saw him there. It's my story. You've made me tell it over and over for days and days, and now you just, when it starts to work, you say we're done?
You think this is easy? That we just perform simple tricks? Something to learn in a month?
No.
Or is it that you think you're special, different, genius? You'll do it faster than anyone because you're you, a shining ruby among the dross.
I don't think that.
Well, of course you do. Just like your father, you are a Westmeyer, after all, oozing your thick red royal blood, and you went to sleep every night being told stories of the greatness you were bound for.
Why are you saying this?
So that you hear it. You've been coddled since you were born, and now you get just one small glimpse of real power and think you have it. Why are you here?
To learn from you.
And then?
To fix things. Set them right.
Which things?
Trentfall.
It's gone. Taken. Dead like your family. You've no reason to be here, and if you weren't too stupid to see that, you'd have released me weeks ago. The tale is not here to serve you. It's bigger than Westmeyer's, Trentfall, the Twilight King. It is everything. It's everywhere. And if you want to go fix things, you need perspective, which you lack.
Because you won't give it to me. I need to keep working. My life is at stake. Kira's too.
And so you crash them both into mine. How gracious. You have no patience. None at all. But you will learn what I teach you, when I teach it, and how I teach it, or I will cast you back to the forest and let the guards take you. Am I clear?
You hate me.
I don't.
You do. My whole family, for who we are. You could be helping me learn, but you're afraid. And so you hide with your riddles and bitterness. You know I have this, that I can do it, and you won't help me because you hate me, and
I don't care about you. I could stop your heart right this instant if I wanted. I could end your story cold. No one would mourn you. No one is left. But to do a thing like that would take effort. You'd have to interest me enough for me to kill you, and you don't. I know just who you are, boy, and I am bored.
I am not my father or my grandfather. Whatever they did to you, I am not them.
But you're no better. We're done for now. Go get some rest and try to be something more interesting by morning.
She exits. Ferrin goes after her, but Brand lingers behind. Trammon stands for a moment and then, in a rage, goes to the shelf and begins knocking items off of it. A small tantrum.
The young boy's rage was uncontainable.
He reaches out a hand and knocks over a chair. Trammon looks at the chair.
Hello?
Brand walks to another chair.
But not altogether uncontrollable.
He knocks it over. Trammon stares, transfixed. Brand saunters to the table and picks up an object.
The boy felt trapped by his own life, his legacy. If only he could free himself. He knew the control he sought could be grasped.
Brand holds the object tantalizingly in front of Trammon's face. Trammon raises a hand and gestures. Brand matches the gesture by throwing the object across the room.
But there were other routes, of course.
Trammon slowly points his hand to another item. Brand walks to it and picks it up.
Why try to escape anything when he can meet it head on?
He smashes the item. Perhaps they do one or two more things. A game.
Why waste his time learning the world when he could find ways to remake it? The boy thought, felt no. He knew that would be freedom. And he suddenly also knew where to find it.
Brand leans into Trammon and whispers a word in his ear. Wickmore. They both look up and see the teapot on the floor at the same time. Trammon gestures. Brand picks it up.
It would be better, he thought, to move on, to spread out. Why spend his life learning to make tea when what he really wanted to do was break the teapot?
Trammon holds his hand out towards the pot. He clenches his fist. Brand crushes the pot in his hand. Lights change. The field. Kera and Arrosh are still fighting, but she's very good now. Loose and free, uninhibited, still wearing the circlet.
And so Rigger is called Rigger, but he's never even been on a ship. And then Zamir and Trill were both sailors beforehand, and I always thought that was funny because, but it turns out that it was one big joke back when Rigger and Zamir were both kids.
I see.
And Lace and Trill told her that they'd tell me when I was older that it was something really amazing and stupid, but that I should never ask Rigger to his face. But of course, then one day we're all eating and they were laughing about it really, really big and obvious and making a big thing out of it. And so finally I just came right out and asked him.
A bold strategy.
And just all of a sudden it got real quiet in the whole table and Rigger got red, really red under his beard. And I could see it even though it was a big, thick black beard. And then he just slammed down his knife in the table and walked away. And Lace and Trill busted out laughing, and Zamir was mad at me for no reason, and Rigger and I didn't talk for like a week.
She disarms Arrosh and holds them at stick point.
Which was a complete overreaction, I think.
A true grievance.
Thank you. I just won.
It seems so.
I've never done that. That felt amazing. I've never done that. Talked about or thought about that even.
No?
Never. Never, never, never. I couldn't. Lord Westmeyer hated when I talked about the tumble. And Trammon wouldn't have listened anyway. He likes to act like I just showed up at the keep one day out of nowhere. I feel different. Am I different? I feel different.
You're free. With that circlet, Kera is Kera with her own tale.
Is this like this all the time for you?
More or less.
I want to be a skald.
It's difficult.
I don't care. Show me how. I want to do it. Everyone should. Let's all be skalds.
It would be unwise.
No, it wouldn't.
The tale has value.
Not to me. Not to anyone. This is what it feels like to be free, then. Out there, it's just so heavy. Can't breathe some days, even. I just wake up and it's like all I am is just
A story told by others.
yeah, and if that's all I am, a story, then anyone can change me if they want.
Verus, truth.
But if I were a skald,
You would be action, and action only. But if that is all that you are forgotten when finished.
what does that mean?
You cannot picture me when I am gone. Which is the way. A skald is like smoke in the world. No whisper can ensnare me, but no records are kept of this life. No one has heard of Arrosh, and no one will, ever. A skald is not past or future. I simply am for now. And that is the way it will be until after.
That's nonsense, though. I'll remember. Rione will remember. You have people.
You might recall shadows, perhaps, snippets of conversations you just had with some lost figure, half-recalled dreams of a tinker on a cart, purchasing scraps, but not this face, or these words here, and not this life. I do not remember the face of my teacher. And you will not remember Arrosh when I am gone. All the better that you did not run me through with your stick then, eh?
There has to be something else, some in between.
There used to be. Rhyme blades. Part whisperer, part skald, controlling the tale, but not its subjects. They are gone now, and so we must make our choice.
You could show me how to be a skald.
I could take you to the rocks, yes, but it is painful.
And if I did, Trammon,
Would not benefit from your protection. Rigor and Trill and Zamir would tell no stories of the Kera who left Trentfall. You would be free for once and always, and then gone. And so,
Kera makes her decision.
still so much left for you.
Arrosh, a word.
Is Trammon?
At the house, resting. Quick.
My lady of the whispers, she beckons, and I follow.
Come.
Kera takes a moment to hold the circlet in her hands and feels its warmth. Then she puts it back on the card. Displays of power.
Trammon! You need to pack. Whatever you can carry. Are there more rolls?
Where are we going?
Wickmore.
What?
To the academy.
That's weeks away, a month.
We'll make it, though. We have to make it.
Does Rione know?
I'm done with her.
She's why you came.
That was a mistake. She doesn't have what I need. But Wickmore.
How do you know?
I just do. Trust me.
The watch is still looking.
Don't worry about them. Look. Oh, wait.
He concentrates hard on the wagon.
What are you...
Shh. Please. Come on. I had it.
Brand walks to the wagon and knocks something off of it.
The items on the wagon shifted slightly.
Ha! See?
You did that?
Of course I did. Look.
He waves his hand with more confidence. Brand knocks something else off.
And again.
I can do it, Kera. I have the power. Do you want me to crush the wagon?
No.
Because I could. I've been practicing all night. Rione told me to stop, but I could feel it flowing all around me. And
I think you should have listened to her.
if I had, then I wouldn't be able to do anything. She's sabotaging me.
Your father trusted her.
She hates me because of him. And anyway, I'm more than that. I'm more than some oath he memorized. I'm not a Westmeyer now. I'm so much more.
What about Trentfall?
I was wrong. I know that now. I should have left with you right away. But now I know just where to go. Just what to do.
How?
I just do. Please, let's go.
Footsteps approached. Not that anyone noticed.
Okay.
Good. Get your things, and then...
And again.
Shh, listen.
Get them off me! Get them away! I don't... They can't find me, else I'll... I know you.
Get behind me, Kera.
No, I don't. But I do. But I... laughed at me. They all laughed at me. They called me fool, said I was mad. If I come back, then they'll kill me. I've been looking.
Sir, please, you're confused.
You damn right I am. Been like a ring, like buzzing my head. Can't see or hear. But I know you. I know you. I've seen you both.
You need to leave right now.
I'm not going anywhere. It's less hurting when I see you, take you, hurt you. You're coming with me, so they'll stop.
Don't come any closer.
Blasted big squirrels.
I warned you.
Trammon tries to work his powers on Lund. Brand stands back and watches.
Panic did not suit the boy.
The man fell down. The man fell down. The man died.
He knocks Trammon aside with a blow.
Bite off your ears to stop the screaming.
Leave him alone!
Kera swings her stick at Lund. It hits him, knocks him back.
Come here, mute.
The boy lay on the ground, wallowing. All was lost.
Stand still, damn it!
Kera tries to hit him again, and he grabs the stick and throws it aside. She keeps dodging.
Laying there, broken, all he could feel was the fear that he'd watch it. He'd have to see it. As this guard man killed her, the shame crept up. Helpless, burning. He tried to fight it, but he was weak, so weak, so
Stop it!
weak. And
Stop it!
I'm sorry.
Stop talking and help me.
You talk to me, you little mute, or else.
Please!
How?
Stop
Don't
him!
confuse me, little gabber.
Did she want it?
Yes!
Did she really want it? The help from the voice inside her head she couldn't see. Did she
I want
really?
it!
Well then.
Brand steps back between Kera and Lund and pushes Lund back. Lund is shocked, suspended, frozen.
Wait. How are you?
What shall we do?
Just make him stop.
The
Brand
girl,
pulls Lund close to him.
the girl spoke soft.
Casually, he plunges his hand into Lund's chest.
The world spoke back.
Oh.
Trammon, are you all right? Are you?
What has happened here?
She sees Lund. looks up to see Brand standing nonchalant over him.
Who was that?
Are you hurt? Child, your brother, is he?
Who was that?
Who?
The man. He was talking. I could hear him, but not see him. And then he asked, and I saw him. And then, who was that man that I saw?
Easy now, child.
Do you know him?
I do. I do.
Then tell me, please. Who did I see?
His name is Brand. His name was Brand. And he is why the walls fell at Mistral.
Blackout. End Act 1.
Yo, what was that?
Welcome back with the best outro ever.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I need a drink. Hold on.
Oh, nice.
That's
Please
too
put that
much.
in some tea for the Scald's lemonade.
I'm gonna add this to the Scald's lemonade because this wait a minute. What the hell? He came back? Well,
I don't write intermissions usually, and then I thought of that moment, and I was like, "Well, you need to give people a break." So,
yo, why would you do that like that to the people? It's so creepy. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Why would Eric do that to the people? It's his fault. He, no, it's fantasy. You got to have the climactic death of the guard in there somewhere. That was a blast. That was one of my most fun scenes to watch you all work in rehearsal. I think partly because it's the whole cast and everybody was in there and moving around. So there's so much energy and they nailed it. But like just the build of that was so lovely. And
yeah, it was just crazy to see all of these characters go on these journeys so quickly. And so like when we get to this point where Lund comes back and he whatever, it's like we earned the moment of it. It's so good. Oh my God. That's good. Yeah. And then Wardell's being corny, so it's going to be a good death.
You cast Wardell, you know what you're getting.
Shakespearean death. Do that.
The best Zoom death scene anybody's ever seen.
Ever. Also, like, why is Rione so crotchety? Like, why is she so mad all the time?
There's some reasons. I'm very excited for people to find out. But yeah, the amount of tension that Shariba was able to bring with everybody, with Brand, with Lund. It's like who does Rione not connect with deeply on this level in this play? It's so exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's kind of like my second cousin in a way, the Rione, not Shariba, just because of her. She's very focused. You can tell she's been through a lot. You can tell that that she takes what she does very seriously, and right now that is being by herself and not having any trouble. And here are these children now coming along and disrupting that. So I'm excited to see how the rest of that plays out.
Yeah, it was fun writing someone who was so able to read anyone who walked through their door immediately and make a lot of assumptions, but also form those assumptions into action. Like that scene where she goes after Trammon was so much fun to watch them working and watch them building, of just getting to that point where like this woman is just going to absolutely rip this boy apart for about 5 minutes and tell him exactly who he is to her and where he belongs. And they delivered so hard on it as well. Those are the moments that are really juicy and fun to write.
Absolutely. I mean, they make it easy. And so, I hope you're rooting for everybody at this point. Like what is going to happen next? So I'm excited for Act 2.
Me too. Act 2 is going to be so great. I'm excited. I already know what happens. I've already seen it, and I'm so excited to see it again. This was such a joy to watch come together. And I spent a lot of time writing this play, thinking that I was the only one who was ever going to read it, let alone see it up. And seeing everybody bring themselves to it, and the work that you did with them, was so exciting. I mean, I'm just curious. Like, what was your first approach like on this? Like, how do you? I've been living in this world for years now, but like, how do you start to form a world for yourself as a director? Like when you come in to a play that's just totally out there,
my main thing, I was trying to explain to my 5-year-old what I do for a living. And I broke it down to saying, I play pretend. I play pretend for a living. So anytime that I'm trying to build a world, be a character in a world, imagine a world, I just tap into my little kid. And that allows me to have ideas flow freely and not be confined by my own, assumptions or prejudices, and just be free to imagine. And so that is the foundation of anything that I step into, anything I try to create. And when you have a dope team, like we had assembled for this reading, it makes me, it's like a kid on the playground. I found friends. Come on, friends. Let's pretend.
Absolutely. And like that age is so when like fantasy starts to, work its way in for you when you're a kid. Like that's when it's the most exciting. And then that's when I started reading fantasy. That's when you start really just imagining and building these worlds out. And it was so fun to see everyone get back to that place.
Exactly. It allows us to remember. And so this piece and pieces like it in the fantasy genre allows us to do that. So it's a gift to me, my friend, my liege. It is in my
Well, that just makes me uncomfortable. This was amazing. I think I'm so excited for people to see Act 2. Then people can stick around afterwards for Dance Party with DJ Marta Jean. It is going to be ridiculous and enjoyable, and a great way for you to let off all of the steam that you're going to be building up over the next act.
Absolutely.
There's good times coming. And
wait a minute, Walt. Dungeons and Dragons, don't wait a minute. You gotta let people know. I mean, they can keep living this vicariously through their own games. Like, tell me.
I was gonna say but I mean, when you want more of this, Sideshow is hosting for the next 3 weeks after this first run. So after the performance on September 17th, the next Tuesday, we're gonna start a weekly D&D live streamed game that I'm the dungeon master for. We've got 5 amazing artists who are going to be our adventurers, and it's going to be every Tuesday night for 3 weeks. And then we're going to rebroadcast this at the end of it. It's going to be totally bonkers and delightful. I can't wait for people to get to watch that as well. But in the meantime, it's Act 2. We got to get to Act 2. You've got so much more play left.
So much more play. Get your drinks, honey. It's going to be
exactly. Thanks so much, Cindy. Cheers. And enjoy, everybody.
Ferrin stands alone, surrounded by shadow.
Rione of the Whispers had felt tired her whole life, even before the strange man found her in Mistrun.
We see Rione and Brand, youthful and lighter. Ferrin weaves in and out of a living memory.
Go away.
If I could just have a moment.
I didn't blight your crops.
I'm sorry?
Or poison your horse, or give your daughter the evil eye.
I don't have a daughter.
That's not my fault either. I didn't do whatever you backwater hicks think that I did, so close the door as you depart and head on home.
I'm not a hick.
You all say that, and yet you live in Mistrun.
Not me.
Really?
I'm from the academy in Wickmore. I came to find you. You're Rione, aren't you? I wouldn't even mind if you killed my horse. Really, it bites.
The man posed no threat by his look, and it had been months since anyone from the outside had come to her. So when he asked her to enter the house...
May I come in?
She agreed.
For 5 minutes.
With conditions.
I truly appreciate it.
You said you were looking for me?
For all of you. Whispers. I'm from the academy.
You said that.
And I study whispering. And the queen, she was made aware of my research and was Interesting. So she tasked me with finding all of you for first-hand stories. I've already spoken with Morin and Tamir across the plain. They say hello.
I trained with Tamir.
He mentioned that. And he thought you might be a good next stop on my little tour. I'm mostly just gathering the basics. Histories, training, habits, beliefs, that sort of thing.
To what end?
To put them down. To document them. So the world can know of all the great things you've accomplished.
And where to find us and hunt us down, kill us. You already heard what I've been through with these farmers.
There's only initials in the records and no locations. You can make it up whole cloth if you'd like, but it's important.
To who?
The Queen, for one.
Royals haven't cared about whisperers for decades.
Murtaugh has changed that. His uprising, the things he says. There's a man out there claiming that he can break the tale, rewrite the order of things, and a lot of folks are listening to him. So the Queen felt that, given the circumstances, it'd be good to remind everyone of true power.
We don't fight. We won't fight. Not for the Queen or anyone. We take oaths that ensure we never...
The Queen knows that, but she also sees you as symbols of powers that were and still remain. She wants more stories of your exploits.
Then let her make up what she wants. Everyone else does.
But I don't like that. Do you? The Queen's not very creative, or bright, really, so I truly dread the things she'll make up if you let her. But I don't work for the Queen, or, well, she pays me. I am employed by her, but I started this work because I care. I was already doing it when she came calling, and I'll continue it when she's gone.
You are a strange man.
I'm told that often. You tell everyone stories but your own. You move mountains using tail, protect cities, direct the rivers. But you, yourselves, have no record. I think that's sad. I think everyone deserves to be written. And so, hello, my name is Brand, and with your permission, I'd like to know you. Is that all right?
The man's smile held secrets, but his words hit home. After all, she did have stories.
Maybe you can stay 5 more minutes.
And so it started.
Brand and Rione start moving through snippets of memory.
Your name?
Rione.
Age?
Unknown.
Got it. Hometown?
Trentfall.
And you've been here
6 months.
Since the flooding?
Tamir sent me. Thought they'd need the help.
I see.
They didn't want it.
He was your mentor?
There were others, but him the most. But don't tell him I said that.
Probably best. He has an ego.
Oh, he got his head stuck in a bucket once.
Really?
I saw him do it. Write that down.
Things came slowly at first, but as they worked and he listened, she found herself easing, loosening, being more free with her full life and her answers.
And so by that point, the entire wagon was on fire and Riva was of no use whatsoever. So while Tamir got the workers out of the way, I had to have my shade carry water from the cistern. It was a nightmare.
I can imagine. What was her name?
Riva?
Your shade.
Though some stayed hidden.
Why?
For the story. It's always better with specifics.
We don't give those names, though. We never do.
Tamir did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. It's written in here. If you'd like, I can.
It's private.
It doesn't have to be. Tamir said that you can even show them to people if you want, but you hide them. And yes, of course, I understand the tradition and the mystique and all.
It's not mystique. It's just control.
Of course. But you have to understand, I'm just a gatherer. I don't want power. I want to empower. But I can't empower you with something I don't have, can I? I have a theory about your shades. If there's any ulterior motive, it's that I'd like to know if I'm correct or not. The theory is their forms matter to the Whisperer, which makes sense, of course. They're all your power. The font of it, the focus, and so the form that they take should really matter. Someone impactful, someone memorable, someone the Whisperer can't ever forget.
You should go.
What?
This isn't wise. I shouldn't have.
No, Rione, look, I'm sorry. I ramble on sometimes. I'm a rambler. No more shade talk, I promise. Only fun. So, did the water help put out the fire? On the wagon?
The woman considered what it meant to have someone, an audience, a friend, a real person in the room listening to her.
No. As it turns out, the cistern was dry. We had to make a rain cloud.
You can do that.
In extreme circumstances.
The days continued and stories flowed. Both ways, it seemed, in time.
You've never been to Wickmore.
No time.
But the Academy, Rione, it's magnificent. So much to learn.
I know the things I need to know.
You'd be surprised. The archives are deep. You could get lost in all of that tale. It's about as close as, to being you as I'll get, probably.
Maybe I'll go someday. Just a break from burgs like this.
I could tell you about it some, if you would like.
Perhaps a bit.
The days passed fast, trading stories and skills, laughing at farmers, sharing everyone, and every story that they could think until...
Brand is packing up.
You can't stay?
I have to go. Just for a bit. The king's money is bottomless, but he does require occasional returns to the well. I'll come back. Once I've written it all out, they're your stories and, you should have them. I'm not good with farewells.
There's one more, that I could tell you. Ferrin. My shade. Her name.
I see.
I could tell you.
I'd like that.
And so she did. And more. Not just the name, but their story, their history, and what it was that made this form. What gave her strength, focus, power. And when the telling was complete...
May I see her? Rione. It's all right if not. I completely understand.
Yes. Yes. All right. You may.
And with a wave, her shade was there.
Ferrin is now standing within the scene. She is visible to Brand.
Brand, this is Ferrin.
My God. She's beautiful.
I've never shown her to...
I know. Thank you. Just... Yeah. It's time.
For what?
For me to share something as well, if you'll let me.
Yes?
All right.
He produces a small tuning fork.
What is it? Brand? What is...
He hits the tuning fork.
No interruptions.
Rione and Ferrin are both frozen in place.
This is far too delicate a process.
Brand, I can't...
Brand starts moving around Ferrin, appraising her.
You talk the most. Did you know that? Not all of them. It took so much longer with you, but I can assure you it was worth it. Some shades barely impressed, but this one, you can feel the power in her, burning, churning. I keep them all inside this bag. One for each.
He pulls a pointed gem from the bag and touches it to Ferrin's forehead. Rione reels.
What is that?
I'm not sure, really. But it works. Morteau said it would. Just like this.
Presses the gem harder as it begins draining Ferrin's energy.
Morteau!
It's a surprise, isn't it? It shouldn't be. It was to Tamir and to Morin and even really though she wasn't fooled as easy. You all don't understand what it's like to be vulnerable. You think so highly of yourselves that you get convinced that Morteau really wants to use you personally instead of just your power. That's why he's winning. You act like there's just one story and it's a shame, but he can take you, break you, use you, and tell them all. All it takes is...
Ferrin's hand comes up and grabs Bran's wrist.
What? Oh, what is...
Release.
Now Ferrin grabs his other wrist, holding the bag of gems.
Release.
Rione, please. You...
Leave this place. Go. Don't return. And leave your toys and your crystals and your writing.
I can't.
You can.
If I come back without this, then he'll kill me.
If you try to take them, I'll kill you.
You don't know what he's
You have no clue what it is, even.
It's powerful. It's all he said, and if you take it, there's no telling what he's going to do.
I'm not going to take it. I'm going to smash it to bits.
You can't.
I can.
Rione channels more force into Ferrin, who rips the crystal from Bran's hands and holds it aloft.
There's 20 shades in there. It's too much power. You can't know what'll happen if...
Do it! Ferrin!
A blinding flash, a wave of force.
When it was over, the Whisperer stood among the wreckage of the town, the walls aflame, and she was utterly alone there with her shade. Her shades, she saw.
Brand is off to the side, crouched down, shuddering.
Stand, Brand. Stand up.
Brand stands. He turns toward her. Their eyes meet.
So, welcome then.
And as the rumbling died down, the Whisperer knew peace was gone. She'd venture forth, she'd fight a war, she'd break the man who brought this ruin, and then she'd vanish. Once again, with all her stories and her songs and her two shades, into the woods for good.
And forever.
During Ferrin's last narration, we have segued back into the present time. Ferrin stands off to the side. Brand is nowhere to be seen.
And so it stands. Brand is not a normal shade. I did not create him. He was bound to me somehow. I'm sorry he contacted you. He is dangerous. You understand?
Yes.
Do you?
I do.
Was that the first time you'd felt him? Out in that field?
Yes.
You're sure?
I swear.
So be it. You train with me, starting tomorrow.
Her too?
Her only. You're finished.
What?
You lied to me. Just now. You heard my tale, you heard the danger, and still you stood in front of me and tried to...
That was the first time I'd felt him.
My home was wrecked by something, boy. He's been attached to you for days.
I didn't know.
You're still lying.
I thought I was learning, growing, getting stronger. He used me too.
Then best to hide you from his sight, I say. Arrosh has agreed to leave tonight for Wickmore and seek knowledge from their archives on how to stop a shade like Brand. You will go too.
I won't.
Arrosh's scalding will protect you from Brand's power.
And my sharp wits will keep you focused.
This is nonsense. I don't deserve to...
It's far better treatment than you deserve. I ought to simply leave you for the watch.
You ought to train us both.
I'm sorry?
You say to tell you if we felt Brand. We don't know what that means even. Trammon got fooled. It's not his fault.
You don't understand.
And that's the problem.
The girl speaks right. They need to know, Rione, for their safety and ours.
You just don't want the boy with you.
Some things can hold two truths.
Fine then. Both of you train. Starting tomorrow. Now leave.
Come, children. We shall make our preparations, say our goodbyes.
The woman sat and thought and stewed in all her questions.
Not now, Ferrin, please.
Hard ones, nagging, such as, how could a problematic shade be killed? Would Arrosh truly find the method? And if they did, and if it worked, if she could really kill one shade, then why not two? Why not be rid of both of them, those two loud voices in her mind, and shed their burden all at last?
I am well and truly not in the mood for this now.
The woman lied to herself, everyone.
It's not important.
No mentors left, no one left to protect her from her power.
Stop now! I am tired.
She would die soon, she knew, and no one would be left to remember Ferrin.
It doesn't matter.
It does to me.
You're not you, though. You're long, long gone. Good night, Ferrin. I'm sorry.
Honesty. The field by Arrosh's cart. Arrosh packs things while Kera watches. Trammon paces.
So you're just leaving? Just like that?
Our Lady Whisperer requests, and I answer.
We need you, though.
Arrosh hands her a dueling stick.
You need to learn, to grow, to thrive, and you will hear. When I return, we will assess and see where fate leads you.
But I'll forget you.
Come here, quickly.
Arrosh kneels in front of Kera.
Repeat.
What is it?
A mnemonic. A spell. Of sorts. Rione forced me to make it. Now you will never forget. Not right away. I will return, and we shall speak.
Thank you.
Fight without shackles until then, ne?
Ne.
Remember, boy, you owe me iron.
What? I can't believe she would say that.
Who?
Rione. That she would leave me for the watch? I knew she hated me. You were right, though. We couldn't have known what was happening. There was no way she didn't teach us. How was I ever supposed to know that Brand was this...
You lied to her.
What?
You were talking with him before.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. I heard you, Trammon. You were using him, pleading to...
No, I was...
You brought him out there, and then he jumped to me. And...
Well, why didn't you say something to Rione then? If you're so sure.
We need her.
Not if she's going to treat us like criminals.
I killed that man, Trammon. I felt him die. All because of something you brought with you. And then you lied.
I thought you would make us leave if I didn't. I'm sorry, Kera. I want to be the best I can to make things right.
And be honest with her and me.
I will. I swear.
Why did you want to go to Wickmore?
I don't know. I don't. It was like a compulsion, but it's past. I can't feel him.
If he comes back, you have to tell me.
I will.
You have to get better, Trammon, soon. So I can leave.
What? When?
Once Arrosh comes back. I'll make sure you're safe. I promise that. And if Bran does come back, I'll kill him. Then I'll go. You should get some sleep. I'll take the first watch.
She goes to the edge of the clearing and sits.
The boy stood at a juncture. His sister would leave him unless he acted. How could he stop her? What choices were there?
He caresses Trammon's cheek.
He'd need a plan. More power.
Stable boys and specifics. Ferrin narrates snippets of the following few weeks.
3 more weeks in the woods with different purpose. The woman had 2 pupils now, with new challenges and triumphs.
Kera and Trammon train with Rio.
Stretch. Breathe. Don't speak.
Training 2 whisperers at once had its benefits. A pair of students could assist each other and build rapport.
Trammon doesn't have it right. Kera adjusts him.
2 bodies meant less weight to be borne alone.
Trammon still doesn't have it. Kera adjusts again.
And a teacher could entrust a pair of pupils to take care of one another.
Kera tries the adjustment again. Trammon waves her off in annoyance.
Mostly.
Rione swoops in and makes the correction herself.
Better. Now, breathe.
But what 2 students gave each other most was new perspective. A tale told from just one vantage could be questioned and picked apart. Picked apart.
I was writing Chandler. Kera had Faye.
No. I was on Nancy. They had thrown a shoe.
Oh. Well, Nancy then.
And thus lose power.
And when we came into the clearing, the boar was charging.
It wasn't.
What?
Not yet, it hadn't seen us.
Well, it...
But Chandler spooked it.
A story shared between 2 voices has more weight.
Handler wouldn't have done that. He was calm.
Usually.
But more voices can mean more eyes.
What do you mean, usually?
Never mind.
And different eyes see different things.
No, really, what?
Forget it.
Hold different truths.
No, don't forget it. The details matter.
With dissonance.
Go on, Kera. Why was Chandler behaving differently?
He didn't like the way Trammon wrote him.
That's insane.
The stable boys all said so. You pulled his reins too much.
Well, Meston said I was the best writer in Treadfall for my age, and he was the head groom.
He was nearly blind.
That isn't fair.
You're the one who brought him up.
I shouldn't have said anything. It doesn't matter. The boar was charging when we found him.
Don't give up ground that easy.
We're supposed to be telling it together.
Which means it must be mutually agreed upon. Thus far, she's marshaled stable boys and specifics in her defense, and you've forgotten her horse's name and referenced a useless old man. She's winning, Trammon.
Well, whatever. The point is the boar charged, and Chandler, who had been mostly calm before that, pulled up.
Because you pulled back on his reins.
Because there was a boar coming straight at us, and he reared back. I tried to calm him down and drew my knife.
But it got stuck.
No,
inside the scabbard.
It was the saddle. The horse was buckling.
Because you were pulling on the reins.
No,
He went over and you were pinned. I heard the crack under Gatter and thought you had fallen on your sword, but you hadn't. Then the boar ran right past us into the woods.
We were lucky.
He was just trying to get away. Then you passed out.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. I was there, Trammon.
So was I.
You were unconscious.
Rattled, maybe, but I saw everything.
You were stuck under a horse that had to be put down because you rode him wrong.
I did not. Right.
Yes.
Why does it matter?
Because you're lying.
Something pulses around Kera as she says this.
The woman knew she should say something, but she kept watching.
I don't know why you're doing this. I've told that story just like that for years.
And it was always wrong.
Something about the girl struck her.
You've heard me tell it to all sorts of people, and you've never said anything.
It didn't matter then. It was just some dumb story about a boar and breaking your leg.
Something familiar about her stance.
We need to make sure that we're honest. If we're going to whisper, have all this power, we'll need to do it right, with no more lies.
You should have told me earlier.
You wouldn't have listened.
Of course I...
Can we do something else?
The woman started from her thoughts.
Yes, right. Maybe some solo work.
But
probably best for everyone.
Descriptions, maybe? I like those.
Really?
Yes.
Very well. Describe your home.
We don't have one.
The home that was. You first.
Okay.
Don't think too hard. Just close your eyes, tell me of home, and take me there. Think first. Breathe. Good. When you're ready.
It's warm. The sun is bright. It's dry and cool inside. The walls are close and a cool sandstone. And someone's cooking. The smell is sharp. The bells are ringing at the keep up on the hill. And the floor is dirt. Red-brown and with reeds. And
now who's lying?
I'm not.
You are. The floors were stone, not dirt. Unless you're in the wine cellar and down there's nothing warm. It's granite, mostly, the whole keep.
I'm not talking about Trentfall. It's my house in the tumble.
You lived in Trentfall Keep with us.
That wasn't home.
For your whole life? Since you were, what, 8, 9?
I'm from the tumble.
That's not home.
To me it is. With my mother before she died and after.
You were a beggar. You were in squalor, your mother gone. We gave you food, new clothes, a bed, a family.
I was a guest and a ward. And I'm your friend, but I'm not family.
The tumble was a cesspool.
You never went there.
Of course I didn't.
No one from the keep did. Your father wouldn't have, except he needed an orphan. And
he took lots of trips into the city.
With a full retinue and a carriage. And he didn't even go to the tumble.
He was a great man.
But not my father.
How can you say that?
Because he told me. Every chance he got, every free moment, he let me know that I was there to gain him favor, to show the people his benevolence, that all the war and the strife were over because he found me.
He wouldn't have said that. He loved you.
He needed me. That's all.
If we can get back to the tale.
You're lying.
I don't do that.
You do. You are. How dare you? He gave you everything.
He took me from my home. He kept me on as a symbol, not as a person, not as a daughter, not anything that didn't serve him.
You never said anything.
Would you have heard me? Would you have cared?
I always cared.
But not enough to notice. Not enough to ever ask about my life, my home, my friends. Nothing that would have gotten in your way or your father's, or made you realize that not everyone was happy in Trentfall.
The rumbling is back.
We were happy, all of us, and my father was a great man.
Who was killed by his own soldiers because he couldn't tell a rebellion was coming. He thought he plastered all over by taking me in, but didn't care that
You're wrong.
He took me and kept me, and then he was done. And you were kind, Trammon. You were. And you were nice, but never saw. And I kept hoping that you'd be better, that you'd notice, that you'd just do something.
I kept you safe. When he was killed, I got us out, and I
woke you up. I got us out. I had a plan. But you brought us both here to meet your destiny.
That's enough now?
She motions
Girl
Ferrin.
started to feel tired.
I'm not done yet.
Kera shrugs her off and she is thrown back.
You dragged us to these woods and don't even know what you're doing. And you almost got us killed so many times. And now we're both stuck in this tale. This lie. This stupid fever quest that has no ending. And you lied, Trammon. You lied to all of us. And I killed him. I had to kill. You made me.
Kera.
You made me do it. And he was there, and he would have killed you, but I couldn't see it, feel the brand, the shade, the power. I needed you. You made me kill. You made me.
Lund appears, but he's all wrong. Half-formed, lumbering, nightmarish. He is Kera's version of Lund, blood pouring down his chest.
Made me.
He lumbers towards Trammon, who falls back. Kera is not in control of him, though she summoned him. Enough! Rione beckons Ferrin to Lund, and she rallies and grapples with him. They are both shouting, but there is no articulation. It's pure conflict. Ferrin manages to wrestle Lund back into wherever he emerged from and close it up. The world returns to normal.
A show of power much too great.
I'm sorry. I don't know what, I just...
Shh, child. Easy now. You've been through.
Don't touch me! Trammon, I didn't...
You tried to kill me.
I didn't mean to.
She runs out of the door.
The girl was gone. Loose in the woods.
What was that?
Stay here. For your safety.
But I can help, though. I can help.
Enough. Lock the door after me.
It was even worse than the boy had imagined.
Trammon tries to ignore him.
The girl didn't pity him. And she didn't want to leave him. She wanted to kill him. The girl he'd grown his whole life with despised him utterly and would destroy him soon. He knew. And the woman let her.
That isn't true.
He tried to push back. Even then, his noble nature swelling to her defense. But the truth shone through in her actions, both of them. He had no choice. Now to stop them, somehow, some way.
I don't want to...
Whitmore could wait. He couldn't leave just yet. They'd find him, kill him. To win his freedom, he'd need power. And he knew how.
It isn't right.
It was the only way for Trentfall, for his father.
I can't do this. I can't.
He could. And he knew it. And he knew the way.
He sets his hand on Trammon's shoulder.
It was an old story that he would write. The oldest story of them all. A captive freed, a power taken. He just had to surrender. To give himself. To open wide.
Bran's grip goes hard. He spins Trammon around and stares into his eyes. Perhaps for the first time, Trammon truly sees him.
And starts the telling.
Brand pulls Trammon's mouth open and begins to put his hand inside. Faces to names. The clearing where Arrosh's cart used to be. Kera is wildly swinging her staff, going through angry versions of the fighting exercises Arrosh taught her. She is wearing the circlet on her head. Rione enters and watches for a moment. Ferrin is pushed to the periphery by the circlet.
I suspect Arrosh taught you more control than that. Or at minimum, breathing.
I'm not going back with you.
That's quite an artifact.
It keeps me safe.
From?
Everything.
A big task for a small crown. You're making Ferrin sad, you know. She's taken a shine to you, and she can't see you when you wear it.
Well, I can't see her ever, so. I didn't make that thing on purpose.
You shouldn't have been able to at all, but you did it, and you will again, unless you learn control.
I don't want to control it. I want it gone.
Your shade is drawn out of your story. That's not something you can escape.
Arrosh did. I'll go with them when they're back, and they'll teach me.
And you'll just keep that circlet on your head until you're done?
Maybe.
It's a long journey to the scalding rocks. Washing your hair will be perilous.
You're making fun of me.
I am, because you're smart enough to know how foolish you sound. Arrosh did not become a scald to run away.
Why did they do it then?
I don't presume to speak for others.
You do, though. All the time. Me and Trammon both. You tell us where to go, what to say, who we are even.
I'm training you.
Even before we started. It never stops. As far as I can tell, whispering is nothing but speaking for others.
Now I really do see why Ferrin likes you.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Then take off that crown, and I'll show you.
Will it come back if I do?
It's not a full shade yet. It isn't fixed. Your final shade won't look like Lund at all unless you want it.
I don't.
Take off the circlet. You'll be safe.
Once again, we see the weight of the tale hit her.
The girl emerged into the world. She breathed and looked.
There. See? And now,
small gesture of the hands, and all was revealed.
Oh.
This is Ferrin.
Actually,
this is my Ferrin, at least. The real one would be much, much older by now.
Hello.
She still can't speak to you. She does to me too much. We grew up in the tumble.
You did?
Marsh side, she was my sister.
Is she still there?
We lost track of each other in the war.
Did she whisper?
Better than me. It was annoying. But the tumble was no place to learn, and so we left. Lived on the road, learned what we could, and then we fell out and separated. They were dark times.
Did you look for her when it was done?
I should have. But I told myself other things mattered more. We're like that.
Who?
Whisperers. When we're not presuming to speak for others. We call ourselves the memory of the world, but we forget things all the time. I used to think it was necessary.
Could you change it?
I'm only good for hiding at this point. But someone else possibly could. Someone younger, a bit more just, with more energy and less hate. I could help someone like that an awful lot.
Is Bran the way he is because you killed him?
Probably. At least somewhat. But your shade won't be like him. Yours will be different and kind and helpful. Maybe a friend back in the tumble.
It's like that.
Good. Then...
A bang! A strike.
What is it? Why did she just...
Stay here.
What?
Stay right here, please. It's likely nothing.
Is it Brand?
Stay. Please, I promise you, I do not know. It may be nothing, but just stay here till I return. Put the circlet on.
The tale is told. Rione's cabin. Trammon sits in the center of the floor, blank. Rione returns through the door. Ferrin stays close.
Well, things are neater than after your last tantrum.
I didn't break anything this time.
Such maturity.
I was looking for something.
Was it my teapot?
That's gone.
I'd noticed. Not sure where it got off to.
Very sorry. I know how much you care for tea.
Indeed. What was it then that you were looking for?
Something quite old. I thought it broken.
Or was it?
No. And it was the first place I looked. I borrowed it, if that's all right.
Moving to him.
Trammon?
Trammon produces the tuning fork that Brand held in the memory. He strikes it on his hand. A tone rings out. Rione and Ferrin are both frozen. Brand emerges. Trammon mirrors his motions, puppet-like, and speaks in monotone along with Brand.
I'm honestly surprised you kept it. So sentimental.
Brand walks over to Trammon and pats his head.
I borrowed this as well, if that's all right.
Brand, please.
I'll let him go when we're all done. He may not want me to, but I'll insist.
Going to Wickmore.
Shh, child.
Trammon falls back to his sitting position, silent.
He'll do for the journey.
Don't do this, Brand.
It's all that I can do. All that's in me. All I want. Every day I spent chained to you, I could feel the tug of it. Murtaugh sent me out here to do a job, collect your power, and bring it back. He's waiting for me. I'll be his shade, his one and only.
You're my shade, Brand.
I'm so much more. Larger, stronger, more true, full of the others who I claim. You made me this. You crafted me, but now I'll finish my one task.
He turns to Ferrin.
Free from distractions.
Leave her alone.
You know the secret to a good story, Rione?
Rione!
acting.
Ferrin!
Bran steps away. Ferrin is gone. Rione collapses.
She felt no pain. She couldn't have. She was just one last echo of the girl you left behind.
I will kill you.
You won't. And I'll exercise you. You will be absent, absolutely burned from the page. Worse than the scalds. There'll be no you or thought of you when I'm finished. I'll let him start. It seems only fair.
Trammon mechanically draws his dagger. Following Bran's commands, he stands up and moves over Rione.
You know he's never killed anyone before. He's quite nervous.
Kera busts through the door, wearing the circlet, dueling stick in hand.
Trammon!
Kera, run!
Do it!
Like a puppet, Trammon plunges the knife into Rione's back. She sprints to Trammon, hard with the dueling stick, knocking him away. She goes to Rione to try and help.
Attend.
Trammon lunges towards Kera. She turns to meet him, but before she can react, he knocks her, reeling. The circlet flies off, and Brand picks it up.
A curious trinket, but no matter.
He snaps it in his hands.
She wore this crown to mock you.
How dare you?
Trammon, you killed Rione!
She had killed me, and you will too.
She was helping! She saved us both!
Stop lying!
Kera gets her guard up and fights back, but mostly just defense. Brand observes.
Prove yourself to me, Trammon. Prove your fitness.
This isn't you. He's making you do it.
You don't know me.
You're my brother.
Don't say that word. It isn't yours. I gave you everything you have. My house, my name, my power, and you used me. Every story that I told, every last thing that made me me, you twisted it, made it a lie to suit yourself.
You don't want this. Please, you can fight it.
Brand knocks something into Kira's way so that she falls. Trammon looms over her.
But I'm taking it all back, because I'm stronger.
He serves the man who killed your father.
My house is dead. What does it matter?
You're still a Westmeyer.
What's a name without power?
He doesn't want this.
I do.
Pushing Trammon forward.
Of course he does.
It isn't true.
This is the tale written in blood.
The tale can change.
The boy's hand raised.
He can choose it.
The sharp blade glimmered slick with blood.
I could feel it.
And came down quick with a sharp flash.
The boy could choose.
The force of the words knock Brand back. Kera barrels into Trammon, pinning his arms in a kind of embrace. She holds him.
You choose. You choose.
A brief struggle, but Kera holds on. Trammon calms and sees Kera.
This isn't right. It's not the tale. It isn't right.
Not to you, maybe, but...
Brand gestures with his hands, makes Trammon plunge the knife into his own stomach. He staggers back and collapses.
Trammon!
Such a waste. Such potential.
I'll destroy you.
You have no tools, no mentor left, no parlor tricks. You have no power here.
I have a voice.
You're still a child. A poor, lost girl. But I'll still take you. Don't fret.
He paces around her as she concentrates.
Moment by moment, it dawned on the small girl that she had no true choices left than to give in. Subsume herself to Murto's tale. To go to him and supplicate and say once and for all that she was nothing. A vessel. She was a tool and nothing
I will
more.
be her.
Brand is suddenly locked into place.
I am Kera, orphan of Trentfall, was taken by Taller Westmeyer and his son, who who was my brother.
You are nothing.
She moves her hand again and Brand is sent reeling.
I came out to the woods fleeing assassins with my brother. We were pursued by a soldier whose name was Lund, who sought status.
As Kera speaks, Lund appears, though not the warped version of last time. He speaks with her and advances on Brand.
Who was the Lord's man through and through, and a great trapper. He found the children in a cabin late one night and found a witch.
Brand rallies, pushing back against them.
An ancient hag, long in the tooth whose powers wane.
Betrayed at Misrun, Rione of Whisperers of two shades.
Rione begins to rise, speaking with them, though she is different.
Who marched on Whitmore, who brought any army, who fought Marto in single compact, seen by no one, and cast him down.
You lie!
And cast him down among the tomes, and then returned. Who lost her sister, also gifted, Ferrin of Trentfall.
Ferrin appears again and joins the tale. She, Rione, and Lund all move with Kera.
Who had long wandered outside Whitmore, who had been lost, and has returned back to her home, searching, looking for her family, who had a child.
Stop this! Stop!
These are the tales. There is no end.
The shades have subdued Brand, but everything is stuck at a standstill.
End the tale! I keep the story, and you cannot break me, cannot stop me. You can't get...
Everything stops. Everyone frozen. Trammon, who lays dying, has struck the tuning fork, and it rings out.
Kera.
He holds out his dagger, still slick with blood.
I'm sorry.
Kera takes the blade.
It hurts me. Nothing of man can cut a shade.
Of course it can. I say so.
You can't write tale. You're just a whelp. Myrtle will find you, cut you, kill you,
This
hang
is
you.
the dagger of Trentfall. The Westmires forged it.
Yeah, they were nothing. They're gone, dead, broken.
But I don't think so. I think they made this long ago and gave it power. It was passed down, father to son, for generations, honed and sharpened.
She moves towards Brand.
That isn't true. It isn't true.
It had one purpose, one destiny. To cut a shade, to end his pain.
Keep that away. It can't hurt me. You're lying. You.
Kera moves towards Brand.
It came to Trammon, last of his house, who bore it here, and then to me.
You made it up.
Whose name, its purpose.
It will return.
Who brought it home.
She plunges the dagger into Brand's chest. Massive flash! Rolling thunder, blinding, deafening, final! And then, quiet. Kera stands, mostly alone. Rione's shade lingers. She seems to glow.
There are so many tales.
Don't leave.
Rione is looking all around her at all the things we cannot see.
I hear them. All.
Don't go. Please, please.
They're all still here. We're all still here. It never ends. It never ends. It never...
It never ends.
New beginnings. Outside a field.
Morning rose, cool in the deep forest. The sun's rays caught a woman standing in a clearing, all alone. Her bags were packed. She was ready. 2 hand-dug graves behind a cabin not far off. She looked around for one last moment before leaving. And then, footsteps.
You did good work.
Thank you. I tried.
Buried them deep with good markers. Now passerby will see. I said a prayer or two myself. Jokes between friends.
Where will you go now that it's done?
Wickmore. The academy. I told Rione I would, detours aside.
I'll come with you.
To seek answers?
I think so. Yes.
You'll be most welcome on my cart. And there are rolls, fresh baked for us.
I stole the crown before you left. I took it out and then brand.
She reveals the broken pieces.
I'm very sorry.
Just because something is broken does not mean it's not worth keeping. Now come. Wickmore awaits.
The woman took a breath and looked around. She felt the power of the tale push down on her from every side, pressing, crushing, kneading.
It needs telling. And we will help.
Pack on shoulders, she stepped ahead, the weight of the whole world upon her shoulders.
Come, please, Trammon.
She took her shade and carried on.
End of play.